Coming up on the August edition of Channel 12's Lakeside News. Three Rivers Park Board Chair John Gunyou will give us an update on several trail projects coming up in the Lake Minnetonka area. And this month's Around the Lake will introduce you to a local author whose book is offering hope to grieving readers. Nate Reines will preview LMCC's fall sports coverage. And we'll learn all about Tonka toys in this month's Lake Lore. Lakeside News is next. Hi, I'm Chris Felt, and welcome to Lakeside News, where you'll find news and events from around the lake area. The Lake Minnetonka area is filled with great parks, trails, and recreational areas for young and old to explore, especially during the summer months. Three Rivers Park District Board Chair John Gunyou is here to give us an update on some exciting projects coming up in 2014.
I'm John Gunyou. I'm the Three Rivers Park Board Chair, and I also represent the Lake Minnetonka area communities. And I'm here today on the border of Shorewood and Tonka Bay on the Lake Minnetonka LRT Trail at Highway 19. And I wanted to share with you some of the trail projects we have that might be of interest to you. I'm excited today to share with you some information about a safe bridge project we have that will be taking place next year to get people safely over Highway 19. You can hear the traffic in the background. It's a pretty busy road. We're very successful in obtaining federal funding for this, so we're working today with the cities that border the area to make sure that we have the local trails tied into that. Next year, we'll be dropping a bridge in place over the highway. It's a couple $1 million project, so we're very fortunate to have secured federal funding for this. It shouldn't be too disruptive because the technique we use is to drop the bridge in place. We will have detours for the trail during the whole construction, so people will be able to use the trail. I'm particularly excited about this because I actually live on the Lake Minnetonka LRT trail, and so I'm very familiar with the safety issues at this intersection. For those of you that also use the Lake Minnetonka LRT trail, I wanted to just give you a heads up that the city of Deep Haven and Hennepin County are planning to replace the Vine Hill Bridge next year. And so that section of the trail will be closed while they do that. It's not our project, but we have requested that they take steps to make sure it minimizes this disruption. We will post the closings and the alternative routes that are available both on our website as well as signs along the trail. Trails are a very high priority of mine, and I'm also happy to let you know that the 9 Mile Creek Trail, which is one of our interstates, one of our largest trails that will be running through Richfield and Edina and then into Minnetonka and Hopkins. We were successful in advancing the construction of that by 2 years, so it'll be built 2 years sooner than we thought. A couple of other things we're doing with our trail planning is we've started an outreach effort with our equestrian users. We have a number of equestrian trails, and so we'll be holding sessions this fall to ask them for their input about how we can do a better job to meet their needs. Doing something similar also with the snowmobilers that use some of our trails in different areas. You might be interested to know that we were successful in acquiring Camp Kingswood in Minnetrista. It's a 106-acre parcel that's just a pristine little long lake, as well as a tamarack bog. It has woods, and it has plains. It's a very interesting area. We're planning to preserve that, but it also gives us a great opportunity for a new north-south regional trail. We have a lot of east-west regional trails, not so much the north-south connection. So that'll be connecting the Loose Line Trail and the Dakota Rail Trail, which are very heavily used trails, and so this will provide a very convenient access between the two once we complete that planning. If you want more information, be sure to check out our website, threeriversparks.org. You can also check out my website, which is johngunyou.com, to get more information on this, and actually sign up for a newsletter if you'd like to stay in touch with what's going on with our district. I hope to see you on the trails. It looks like we finally have a summer, and so I hope you'll take advantage of all the facilities and the trails and the parks that Three Rivers has to offer.
Coming up after the break, we'll introduce you to a local author whose book is offering hope to grieving readers. Lakeside News returns in a moment.
Meet the Coopers. This all-American family is trying to decide where to go on vacation this summer. Dad wants to take the boys hunting, but Mom sure won't allow that. Here's a suggestion. How about a can't-miss, family-friendly classic car show in the greatest town in America, Victoria, Minnesota? What do you say, boys?
Gee, Dad, sounds swell.
Don't forget about the dogs. What about Arnold? And so their journey begins. The bags are packed, ducks are all in a row, and only 5 hours behind schedule. Careful, Bobby, that's not a toy. Uh-oh, looks like someone was looking at the map upside down again. Don't take it personally, Mom. With a stroke of luck, the Coopers are back on track. Almost there, boys. Hey, boys, let's behave in the back. You don't want your dad to turn the car around. Hey, and what's that? There it is, Victoria, Minnesota. And it's in color. Look at all those classic cars. What a sight. Be sure to drive your ride to our classic car night in downtown Victoria, Minnesota. Wednesdays from 5 to 8 p.m. June, July, August, September, and October. Don't miss it. And come on down to Victoria.
I didn't know in that moment that soon I would be looking back and wanting more.
On a summer day in 1991, the Devaney family experienced the unthinkable, the loss of their 18-month-old son.
I wanted a memorial for Billy, and that was my initial reason for writing the book, so everyone would get to know him and our family. The reason for the title of the book was I put Billy down for his nap that day. Unlike any other day, he pointed to the rocking chair as I lowered him into the crib, and he wanted me to sing to him. So I rocked him, and I sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
If happy little bluebirds fly.
So that was the last time I saw Billy. I backed away and said, Mommy loves you, and backed away to the door. I was getting signs from Billy. I was getting signs of bluebirds and daisies and spiritual after-death communications. It's so important to cry and let that out. And to quote my son, my 4-year-old son, when I would be crying every day on the couch, and he'd stroke my hair and he'd say, crying makes you strong, Mommy. Grief is redundant. If I can say one word for grief, it's so redundant because it's that pain over and over. What helped me the most was journaling. And that happened right after Billy died. I had all these emotions pent up in my head. I had denial, I had shock, I had terrific pain. And I just wanted to get out of my head. It was like a hive of buzzing bees. 3 years after Billy died, I decided to sit down and write in book form, in memoir form, the moment I woke up in the morning to the end of that day, just to get that horrible day out of my head. And I couldn't stop. I kept writing and writing.
To prove herself as a writer, Joanne wrote a book about her flying career.
I decided to write a humorous air travel book so that I could get a publisher for my labor of love. After that became successful, I turned around and I rewrote When Bluebirds Fly. My reason for writing it at that point was to help other bereaved parents and others with loss. So I didn't leave anything out. The characters are very fallible. We're good people, but I wanted bereaved parents especially to know that how they're feeling is normal. After I rewrote it, and I did it in a father's perspective, my perspective, and a child's perspective, my son, because a sibling also goes through bereavement. There's a couple firemen, there is a sheriff patrol. As I got more involved with each one, I realized this is a community story. This is about our community and the goodness and the people in it. And that's why I wanted to involve them too, because it affected many people, many more than I realized. You can't talk about bereavement and not talk about God in the same sentence. It was actually a loss and a rediscovery of faith after this incident. I was angry at him. With one fist, I was shaking it, at God. With the other, I was grabbing him and saying, help me, I need help here. Through the course of my bereavement over many years, I came to the conclusion that he was within me, giving me that strength.
Joanne writes, "The path is pain and healing, but the destination is hope and acceptance."
It's just a book about finding hope through a very tragic or bad situation. Also, I want them to know by reading the book that you can survive it and you will see your child again.
Coming up next, Nate Reines will preview LMCC's exciting fall sports coverage. Lakeside News returns in a moment.
Coming up on Precious Pets. Hey, aren't they cute? Uh-oh, everyone's favorite pooch, Corporal Cuddles, isn't wagging his tail on tonight's episode.
We interrupt this program to bring you this important message.
The Lake Minnetonka Communications Commission, located in Spring Park, Minnesota, offers free television production classes. You heard it right. Free, free, free. All you need to do is sign up and show up to receive your special TV training. That's right, folks. That's it.
Wow, that sure looks easy.
Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help bring your idea to the big screen. Well, that is if you have a big screen.
Why, thank you. We are very friendly and knowledgeable.
You'll learn the secrets of how a television studio works.
If you can't see video, try taking off the lens cap.
Wow! Thanks, LMCC.
From studio lighting and nonlinear editing to on-location shooting, we'll guide you down the path you need to succeed. Just call us at 952-471-7125 or go to our website at www.lmcc-tv.org to get started today. Hurry in, folks. An opportunity this good won't last forever.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
It's summer once again, so mark your calendars and get out and enjoy the annual Concerts in the Park taking place in Excelsior, Mound, and Victoria in 2013.
Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru.
The concerts in Excelsior are held at the Commons Park on Wednesday nights and run from 6:30 to 9 p.m. On May 15th, Brute Squad. On June 12th, Teddy Bear Band and Sons of the Beach. On July 17th, Soca-holics. On August 14th, The Irresistibles featuring Mick Sterling. On September 18th, Hitchville.
I'll be holding you so near.
The concerts in Mound are held at Mound Bay Park on Thursday nights and begin at 7 p.m. On June 13th, the Tuxedo Band. On June 20th, Red Path. On June 27th, Trisha and the Toonies. On July 11th, Pickin' Up Steam. On July 25th, Cyril Paul. The concerts in Victoria are held at Lions Park on Wednesday nights and begin at 6:30 p.m. On June 19th, Island Time Band. On June 26th, Wonder Cure. On July 10th, Dixie Hicks. On July 17th, Bend in the River Band. Be sure to get out to the parks and enjoy your community. We'll see you there.
Welcome back to Lakeside News. In this month's Lake Lore, we'll learn the storied history of Tonka toys.
The earliest I can remember that piece of ground, it contained literally a forest of maple trees, and there were several cottages, summer cottages on it on the east end. I can remember the west end of that property. The Mickelson Ford dealership had a fairly large Ford building. Back then, my father and I created their paint shop and built that and added it on to the building. Just west of that was Mound Builder Supply, and just west of that, I think, was the Reed Building that still stands there today.
My mother had started it, like I mentioned, with Tonka Toys in 1947 in September. When I was growing up, I remember playing with all of these toys. And these toys became part of me. In 1959, I went to the old little red schoolhouse and met with Bill Roberts and Lynn Baker. And when I walked in the door and told him I wanted to work, Lynn said, "You're Carol's son, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, I am. You come in Monday." So I started that Monday right after I graduated, and I worked through Tonka Toys until they left here in Mound, the manufacturing plant, and the company was sold to Hasbro. They bought the name and some of the toys, and that is the story that I have of Tonka.
Meet Detective Larry Prowler, Private Eye. Lately, something very strange has been plaguing the city of Victoria, Minnesota, and he's on the case. It's a ghost town. Every last child is bedridden, and no one knows the cause. Yet. Doctors, scientists, and forensic experts from across the country are on the case, tracking down every last clue to figure out this mysterious condition. Larry has a few suspects, but they all end up clean. What in the world could be causing this enigmatic epidemic? And then it hits him. Of course, the late summer boredom blues. Let's turn those frowns upside down, kick that monotonous malaise, and head on down to Victoria, Minnesota for this year's Books Fest. Don't miss it August 16th and 17th. Visit www.victoriaboa.org for more information. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, there you have it. News and events happening in and around the lake area. If you have a news story or see something exciting going on, please let us know. We can be reached here at the LMCC at 952-471-7125. Via email at lmcc@lmcc-tv.org, or please check us out on our website at www.lmcc-tv.org. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next month on Channel 12's Lakeside News.
Here's what's coming up on First Responder TV. We'll take you inside the house burn training exercise held in Deep Haven by the Excelsior Fire District. We'll talk to Dan Bernardi, chairman of the Governor's Fire Prevention Day at the Minnesota State Fair. Scam Alert. We'll give you an update on scams that have been targeting citizens in the lake area. The LMCC safety expert stops by to give you some important bike safety tips on Safety Source.
First Responder TV airs daily on LMCC's Channel 12.